I came to America in March 2017, so I've been living here for exactly 5 years now. I went from barely speaking English in the beginning.
Well, yeah, but with only the bull.
To speak English fluently and comfortably today. A lot of people were asking me, how did I master a second language? First of all, I'm not an expert. There are so many talented people out there who can speak multiple languages. That's why I didn't summarize my methods. Until recently, my fiance was trying to learn Chinese.
我叫上很忙
So I observed his behavior and process and start to think about the common things for people who learn another language efficiently. So in this video, I'm going to share my tips for learning English and how learning another language could change you. Let's get started. Welcome to Shayna Shares. I'm Shayna from China. Some people might have a question. Don't you learn English at school? Why were you barely speaking English when you came to America? Well, there's always a significant difference between using a skill conceptually and applying it in real life. In my case, when I say I barely speak English, it means I barely can hold a casual conversation with native speakers. I was able to do exams on paper since learning English was a part of the mandatory course in China. It's like how most American students take another language in high school. But when native speakers start talking fast and use some slang, I just couldn't understand at all. That was my definition of barely speaking English. I hope you can understand me now. So that leads to my first tip of learning English or any other languages. Find your deep motivation and enjoyment. When I look back, my deep motivation was to be able to communicate with people and express myself in English, especially in a new country where you didn't know anybody. Let me share a personal story with you. I remember the third day when I arrived in San Francisco. I rented a car and drove to Twin Peaks. Because I was new and I didn't know the local rules, I left my backpack in the car and thought it would be fine to take some pictures real quick. You probably already know what happened. Yep, my car got smashed and they took my backpack, which included my wallet, my keys, and my passport. Luckily, I still have my phone, so I called 911, but I couldn't explain what happened. I also didn't understand what they talk about. I didn't understand why they wouldn't come to me and why they didn't even try to find a thief. I couldn't express my feelings. Well, maybe that's not true because I cried, so they probably know how I felt. But that's not done yet because I have to deal with banks, embassies, schools, and apartments without having anything, but only a paper of incident record from the police station. That was not a happy memory, but it pushed me to improve my English in a short time. Now you see why my experience doesn't apply to everyone. Enjoyment could be a common thing for most people. My enjoyment was being able to watch English movies without staring at the subtitles all the time. Plus, I love singing English songs. I learned from Adele, Beyonce, Alicia Keys, even though a lot of lyrics don't follow the grammar rules. I improved my pronunciation really fast and gained a lot of confidence because it feels like I can speak English for a couple of minutes without stuttering. So all the factors added together made me learn English harder, faster, and have fun at the same time. My point is, in the beginning of learning a language, it's very important to put the grammar rules and vocabulary memorizing aside, but only focus on having fun. Second, immersion, immersion, immersion. Immersive learning is the key. Some people might think, oh, going to another country is very immersive. Partially correct, But it does not mean that your English will automatically improve when you study abroad. I have seen so many Chinese international students who have studied abroad for several years but still couldn't speak proper English. Part of the reason is they only hang out with Chinese friends. Of course, I understand. When you just arrived in a new country, it would be easy and comfortable to hang out with a group of friends who speak your language and share a similar cultural background. I did that as well when I just came to California for the first half year. Then I questioned myself, if I'm not willing to jump out of my comfort zone to learn a new language and new culture, then why would I study abroad? I could just stay in China and live an easier life, a better life. Why did I fly half of the globe to America just to suffer the language barrier or culture shock, but still keep speaking Chinese? To exclusively hang out with Chinese people and watch Chinese TV shows all the time? What's the point? It doesn't make sense. This behavior came from fear. I was terrified about having a conversation in English. No matter answering a question in class or ordering food in a restaurant, I felt stuck. I told myself the only way to feel free is to conquer my fear. Once I mastered this language, I will get more options and choices. So I started to make more friends from different countries. Not necessarily native speaker though. My best friend in America is from Colombia. He speaks Spanish. When we hang out, we all speak English. We can also check on each other and point out grammar mistakes. I wrote my journal in English. I listened to English books. I tested in English. I even went to a talent contest and sang an English song on the stage.
I know exactly the same song. But different person.
One more time, yeah.
With Chinese accent.
It pushed me to practice. And just like that, my English got significantly improved in a couple of months. And I believe everybody can change their learning environment to an immersive style. You don't have to study abroad or spend a bunch of money. We're living in a world that is full of resources and tools. There are so many apps and platforms to make friends and take classes from all over the world. There are so many movies and books to watch and read. There are so many small changes you could do right now to help you learn. For example, change the language setting on your phone. How easy is that? If you really want to learn another language efficiently, you need to take action to create an immersive environment. So for the last point, let me put my scholar cap on for a second. What I want to talk about is how languages shape our brain. A famous people used to say, to have a second language is to have a second soul. I'm not sure if I have a second soul yet, but I'm pretty sure English, as my second language, has changed how I think. For example, English has more gender words than Chinese, especially when you describe a person. She, he, they are very different, and people fight about their pronouns. But in Chinese, all the people of different genders, including animals, are called ta. A woman is ta, a man is ta, a cat, a dog, and alien. They are all called ta. The pronunciation is exactly the same, even though the written character is different. So when I speak English, my brain still hasn't gone too used to distinguishing gender yet. And it's not only me. Most Chinese people make that mistakes when they are learning English as well. So please don't get offended if he or she or they call you the wrong gender. It's just not in our language system. Another example is German and Spanish, describing the moon and sun in different genders. Moon in German is a masculine word and sun is a feminine word. But in Spanish, it's the opposite. The funny thing is, People from Germany would subconsciously think moon is male-like and sun is female-like. But if you ask a Spanish speaker how the moon makes you feel, they probably would use elegant, gorgeous, beautiful, those feminine words to describe moon, because in their language system, moon is female-like. That's just a small example of how languages shape what we think. There are 7,000 languages spoken around the world. Yeah, 7,000. The languages have different vocabularies and structures. It changes your brain to process the time, numbers, directions, colors, etc. It also changes the way you think about people, society, and values. So when you learn a new language, you can also pay attention to this layer and ask yourself, why do I think the way that I do? I'm sure it will help you to develop more perspective and wisdom. Okay, this is today's video. I hope you like it and found it helpful. If you liked today's video, please give me a thumbs up and comment below about your English learning experience or any other language learning experience. I will see you next one. Bye.